everybody, welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I'll be going over 10 things I would really love to see in the next Animal Crossing game. Some of these may be features that I would love to see return. Some of them are newer ideas, but without further ado, let's get started. Number 1, the ability to relocate all buildings regardless of whether or not they are a home or a general building that resides on your town or island. Personally, I find it a little bit ridiculous that we cannot relocate the plaza, and I think it would be really awesome if we could because it would further add to the customization abilities that we already have in New Horizons. Number 2, more terrain options. What I mean by this is whenever you sit down to make a new file on Animal Crossing, I think it'd be really cool if you could choose between having a town or an island, and then whenever, let's say you want to go to your friend's town or your friend's island, you want to visit them, you want to hang out, it would be super cool if there was a general traveling station where, let's say you needed to use the train to get to your friend's town or island. It would give you the option to board the train, but if an airport was more appropriate, it would give you the option for a plane ride to go see your friend. I think this would be really awesome and a really unique way to customize the game even further. Number 3, improved villager dialogue. If you're familiar with any of the older Animal Crossing games, you've definitely noticed how the dialogue in New Horizons compared to the older ones, such as Wild World or GameCube, the dialogue in the older ones was much more varied, and honestly the villagers could be a little bit spicy with you sometimes, but let's be real here. That's kind of what makes it interesting in the game. It gives them more spice, it gives the villagers more life, more personality, and I just really think that if they were to improve the dialogue for the villagers in the next hypothetical game, it would make it a lot more fun to interact with them and to want to talk to them, hang out with them, etc. Number 4, bulk crafting. In Animal Crossing New Horizons, we have the super cool option to craft items, and while this is really fun, I think it would be even better if we could craft items in bulk because sometimes you just don't have the time or the patience to sit there and meticulously craft items one at a time. Let's say that you needed 10 shovels. If you already have all the materials necessary sitting in your inventory space, I think it would be awesome if the game gave you the option to craft all of them at once and save a lot of time instead of doing it individually. Number 5, the ability to change the name of your character or your island. I think this would be awesome because sometimes whenever you make a new one, you may, looking back, regret the name that you chose. Maybe you change the theme of your town or your island, and you would just really like to mix up and make it match whichever you chose to begin with. So let's say that you had like a kidcore themed island, but later on you decide, hey, I don't like this anymore. This isn't really for me. I would rather have a gothic themed island. And then the island name that you chose really doesn't fit your current theme, which is kind of stressful. So I think it'd be awesome if we could maybe exchange Nook Miles or a certain amount of bells to be able to fix this problem. Number 6, varied hourly music. To me personally, I find the soundtrack in New Horizons a bit plain, a bit boring. I'm sorry, but it had to be said. That's how we feel about it. I think that the hourly music just kind of blends into itself. It all sounds almost the exact same to me, and I feel like for the next Animal Crossing game, it would be in their best interest to make it all different, or at least easier to tell which one is which, because if you compare the soundtrack, let's say for City Folk or for Wild World, or even with New Leaf, it's very, very, very easy to tell that they are all different, whereas in New Horizons, it almost kind of feels like there was a lot less effort put into it. Number 7, let's bring back customizing the plaza. If you are unfamiliar with what I am talking about, in Animal Crossing New Leaf, you have the ability to customize and change the appearance of your plaza. I will put a few pictures on the screen, but I was kind of thinking about it, and it doesn't make any sense to me as to why it was removed whenever New Horizons got created, because when you think about it, New Horizons, of all the games, I feel has the best and highest ability to change and customize things. So think about that. Why on earth would it be removed whenever New Horizons got made? It just doesn't make any sense to me. Number 8, bring back the fruits that got removed. If you didn't already know, in Animal Crossing New Leaf, there used to be fruit options such as lemons, bananas, mangoes, etc. And this was super, super cool. And considering the game that followed New Leaf was Animal Crossing New Horizons, the very tropical abandoned island game, it doesn't make any sense as to why those fruits would be removed. And even if the next Animal Crossing game in the series isn't very tropical at all, I still think it would be really awesome if we could have these fruits back. Number 9, fruit bushes. I had the super cool idea, what if in Animal Crossing in the next game, what if they introduced fruit bushes? So we already have a few different kinds of fruit trees, but what about fruit bushes? We could have strawberry bushes, blueberry bushes, raspberry bushes, etc. I just think this would be so adorable, especially considering we really don't have berries in Animal Crossing. And last but most certainly not least, number 10. I personally think it would be so awesome if items such as bathtubs or pools, if we could actually use them, like maybe just wear a wetsuit to get into them. I just feel like having super realistic items like this, it would make it even better if we could actually use them. While yes, in terms of gameplay, I suppose that kind of detail really isn't terribly important. I just feel like it would be really fun to be able to actually use them and get into the bathtubs and pools. And that is the end of today's video. Thank you so much for watching. I really, really appreciate it. Be sure to subscribe if you haven't already, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye, everyone!